Demetrius Flenory was sentenced to 30 years in prison alongside his brother, Terry Flenory. Let me make this a little bit interesting. Demetrius Flenory, with his street name Big Mitch, was born on June 21, 1968 in Detroit, Michigan. And his brother Terry Lee, with his street name Southwest T, was born on January 10, 1970 in Detroit, Michigan. Like most African American kids, their parents tried so hard to keep them out of the street, but turns out the street call was louder and tempting. In late 1980s, during their high school years, both Demetrius Flenory and his brother Terry Flenory began to sell $50 bags of cocaine, which gave them the street title 50 Boys. Both brothers grew bigger and larger and they started recruiting more people to work with them. And this is when the story gets more interesting. In 1985, the both brothers emerged with a new street title called BMF, the Black Mafia Family.
Ran one of the country's largest drug operations during the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. The pair had hundreds of employees, generated hundreds of millions of dollars, and even had a successful record label and magazine. But
they became more famous in the African American community for their popular enterprise, BMF, the Black Mafia Family. Both Demetrius Flenory and his brother Terry Flenory were the leader of BMF. BMF was a large drug enterprise known for its massive distribution of cocaine across several states in the United States of America. At its prime, BMF was esteemed to have employed over 500 people and moving cocaine across Detroit, Atlanta, Alabama, Illinois, and more.
Everybody moved like brothers, and then everybody from different places: Milwaukee, St. Louis, Detroit, Texas, Atlanta, Cali, you know what I'm saying, Florida. We got people from everywhere in our mind. Everybody move as one. Everybody is prospering.
In late 2000s, Demetrius Flenory established BMF Entertainment as a promotion agency and a record label for hip-hop music. Demetrius' main purpose of establishment of BMF Entertainment was to serve as a front organization for money laundering of cash generated from cocaine trafficking.
We are taking this music too.
We're trying to take it, keep it, take it from the streets and keep it in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
In early 1990s, the police began investigation into BMF. This investigation was what led to the 2005 arrest. Prior to the 2005 arrest, Demetrius had criminal history which include drug, weapons, assault offenses. He also had 3 pending charges of murder, forgery of false name, and felon possession. The murder charge was dropped in Atlanta, Georgia, with no prosecution of Demetrius. In October 2005, it was reported that 30 members of BMF were arrested in a massive drug raid by the DEA. During this drug raid, the DEA seized $3 million in cash and assets, 2.5 kilograms of cocaine, and numerous weapons. Prior to the October 2005 raid, the DEA arrested 17 members of BMF, seizing 632 kilograms of cocaine, 5.3 million in cash, 5.7 million in assets. The DEA claimed BMF was responsible for moving over 2,500 kilograms of cocaine monthly across the United States. On October 28, 2005, Demetrius was arrested in a large home in a suburb outside Dallas. Inside this house, the police found a small amount of marijuana and a few MDMA pills. A safe was also found in this house, which contained several weapons. Terry Flenory was arrested in St. Louis with small amounts of marijuana and weapons found throughout the house. Demetrius Flenory and his brother Terry Flenory, with 41 others, were arrested and charged with drug trafficking related offenses associated with BMF. In November 2007, both Demetrius and his brother plead guilty to continuing criminal enterprise in violation of Title 21 U.S.C. Section 848, and conspiracy to launder monetary instruments in violation of Title 18 U.S.C. Section 1956, Paragraph 8. In September 2008, the judge sentenced both brothers to 360 months imprisonment, equivalent to 30 years in prison.
Attorney Josh Schiffer says Demetrius, also known as Big Meech, is highly regarded because he never took a deal or snitched on his co-conspirators.
And he went down. When he went down, he and his brother were sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Demetrius Flenory was confined in the Bureau of Prison facility at FCI Sheridan. While he is convicted at the FCI Sheridan, Demetrius petitioned for 2-point reduction under the United States Sentencing Guideline Amendment 782 and 790. He also claimed that while in prison, he has used his notoriety to effect positive change for African American youths. That if released, he intends to continue his mission of positive change in the African American community. But it was so sad, his request happened to be denied at the time. Everything remained cool until May 5, 2020, during the COVID-19 outbreak, when Demetrius' brother, Derek Flenory, was approved for home confinement by the Bureau of Prison. On April 17, 2020, Demetrius requested for similar treatment, stating that since he and his brother received similar plea agreements and was sentenced to same term of imprisonment, Demetrius further alleged that his health condition is more serious than that of his brother, and simply asking to be treated the same as his brother. Bureau of Prison went on to check his record if he deserved what he had demanded. According to the Bureau of Prison, Demetrius' medical condition include hypertension, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, and low back pain. When Demetrius' prison record was checked, it turns out he has lost 135 days of good conduct credit for various disciplinary violations, which resulted to his placement in solitary confinement. His offenses in prison include having cell phone, using another inmate's prison account to purchase items at the commissary, possession and using of intoxicants, possession of small piece of a razor blade, and more. Unlike Demetrius, Terry's prison record was clean. Prison medical reports shows that Terry Flenory has hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and obesity. He is also blinded in one eye due to retinal detachment that required surgery. He takes several medications and has been prescribed compression stockings. Terry Flenory has been projected to be released and fully exonerated on August 17, 2026 due to sentence reduction from 360 months to 292 months. On April 22, 2020, Demetrius filed an emergency motion for compassionate release, alleging that because of his age and health condition, he has high risk of developing illness or contracting COVID-19. On the ground of not exalted the mandatory administrative procedure under the statute. Ordinarily, a court may not modify a term of imprisonment once it has been imposed, see Title 18 U.S.C. Section 3582, Paragraph C. But for every general rule, there is always an exception. After a long procedure, it was ordered that Demetrius' emergency motion for compassionate release was denied without prejudice. Demetrius, who is known for not backing down easily, kept on pushing for his sentence reduction. On October 15, 2024, Demetrius Flenory was released from federal prison and transferred to community confinement, which include either home confinement or halfway house. What a good news for Demetrius. Demetrius has served nearly 20 years of his 30-year sentence, which made his lawyer to file an application for a reduction sentence, which was granted early 2024. 32 months has been alleviated from his original sentence. Demetrius Flenory is projected to be released and fully exonerated by January 27, 2026. Turns out that now, both Demetrius Flenory and his brother, Derek Flenory, are now placed on home confinement, and both brothers will be a free man again by 2026 if they do not violate their confinement rules. So now we all look forward to 2026, seeing both brothers to be fully exonerated. For now, that is all about the case of United States of America versus Demetrius Flenory. Shout out Big Mitch.